Okay, here's the course schedule. This is probably really the most important podcast. So we're beginning this week. I'm posting a module, um, hopefully this afternoon. And it has all the material, as do all the weekly modules. You know what? Let me just show you how this works for a second. Okay, hold on here. So now you can see my email. Sorry, I'm making you wait. You know what? Forget it. I'll do this in another time. Okay, so we're back to the syllabus. So I post all the material weekly. And this first week, you're reading about Cabeza de Vaca. He's the Spaniard that washed ashore in either Bolivar Peninsula or Galveston in the 1520s. And that's really the beginning of history in Texas in the sense, I mean, stuff happened in Texas that was historical, but nobody was writing it down. And this is the first significant European encounter. There'd been other European encounters. This is the first one. And the other thing is de Vaca went back to Spain and wrote a book about his experience. He's basically a castaway in Texas. And this book also talks about the multiple Indian groups in Texas that existed. Those folks did not use written languages, so that's why we don't have a history of them. Of course, they did have a history, but it's kind of, if a tree falls in the forest, and if someone is a civilization and they don't write it down, it's kind of hard to figure out who they were, what their rituals were. Although there are ways, but that tends to be more archaeology, anthropology, those kinds of things. We look at the pods, that kind of a deal. But anyway, for this course, to cut to the chase, we're going to start with the first European encounter with native groups, and that's Cabeza de Vaca in the 1520s. And then, as I said before, next Tuesday, you'll have quiz 1 will be posted online. It's on the material that I post for this week. You're always quizzed on the previous week's material. Okay, I can't quiz you on the same week's material because you haven't had a chance to study it yet. So I give you a week to go over the module, to listen to the lecture podcast, to look at the documents, look at study the documentaries. That's a beautiful thing about online courses. It gives you maximum flexibility. That's the dangerous thing about online courses. You can easily just blow them off until the last second. And you know what? My guess is that many of you, if not all of you, have been exposed to online because of the horrible COVID. What a tough thing for you guys. I felt awful that it hit when it did for you in high school. I know for many of you it was a total nightmare. But anyway, at least you're familiar with online and how it works. So you're just going to have to figure out a schedule, a time that you listen to this, listen to my material. Don't wait till the last second, and try to make it enjoyable. You just have to figure out what works for you. That's the beauty of online, especially given the nature of our students and how busy they are and how complex in many cases their personal lives are. But that's also the danger of online too. So if you kind of pace yourself in this course, I think you'll be surprised about how much you enjoy it. And I think you'll be surprised by how much you learn. But I'm sure people have been telling you this since you were in first grade, right? Don't procrastinate. People still tell me this. So week two module will be posted on Tuesday. The quiz is posted. You've got 2 days to take the quiz. They're short quizzes. Let me go through, and then here's the other thing. I'll let you know what the readings are. So for the readings for this week are posted, actually. It's something you find online, and it's something that I posted. It's in the module. Next week, you begin reading Empire of the Summer Moon, and I break up the readings into kind of bite-sized pieces so you're not overwhelmed. by the readings. And then I try to, I'll also offer study guides on the reading as well. So be real careful. And if you have any questions, if I wasn't clear about what I want you to read any particular week, reach out to me and let me know. If you're confused, other students are confused. I feel like if a student asks me a question, goes to the trouble of asking me a question, sending me an email, I figure 25 students have the same question. So you have any issues, write me. You'll be helping me, but you'll be helping your peers as well. So I break up the reading for you into bite-sized pieces. Now let's see. Okay, midterm 1 comes in about a month. It's week 5. And again, as I said before, I have 3 midterms now. Just I kind of break up the semester again into smaller pieces than I used to before. And that's so you just don't get so jammed up with historical details and facts, and which I know drive you crazy. So I don't test you on as much material with the midterms. Let's see here. Okay, I think the schedule makes sense, but if it doesn't, let me know. On October 24th, if you're struggling with this class and you think you're going to fail it, go ahead and take a W. A W is cheaper over the course of your lifetime than a F. If you think you're going to make a C in this class, just take it for credit. That way it doesn't count against your GPA. Take advantage of this. When I was a student, a freshman, I failed chemistry because I was a bum and I didn't get up early enough. It was awful. I have no pity for myself. Anyway, I couldn't take the W because I was getting VA money. My dad had been in the military and he passed away. So I couldn't drop it because my money was dependent on me taking 12 hours. Anyway, I had to swallow the F. And you know what? It's lucky I got into grad school. That F really hurt my GPA. So if you're in a position and you're failing a course, not only this course, any course, and you're in a position where you can take a W instead of swallowing the F, take the W. I mean, I know you have to pay for the course and that hurts, but the W over the course of your lifetime will cost you much more money than how much you paid for the semester. Hopefully this isn't an issue for any of you, but it's there. So you have 2 chances to take a W. One you can do online up until October 24th, and then until November 29th. The deadline for the absolute deadline for getting a W is November 29th, but I think you have to do that in person. You can't do it online. Let's see. Midterm 2 is at the end of, it's Halloween. It's Halloween week. Excited about Halloween. Again, the readings for this week. Jumping ahead to November. It's hard to think about November, but it'll come here before we know it. Again, you've got until November 29th to take a W, and you'll have a better sense of how you do in the course by November 29th. And then also to take the credit, no credit. And the beautiful thing about the credit, no credit, it does like if you're making a C- in the course, right? And you feel like that's what you're going to end up getting, just take it for credit, and then it doesn't hurt your GPA. No one cares. No employer is going to look and say, why did you take that for credit? So it's a nice option for students. Hopefully it won't come to that, but it's nice that it's there. Okay, another point, there's no final, there's no cumulative final in this course. So for midterm 1, you're tested on the material up until midterm 2. For midterm 2, you're tested on the material from midterm 1 to midterm 2. For midterm 3, you're tested on the material from midterm 2 to midterm 3. So there's no cumulative final. You're tested on the material up until the particular midterm, and just that body of material. So the final in this class is really midterm 3. But it's not cumulative. It's just, I have a hard time saying cumulative. Anyway, that's my problem. It's just the material from after midterm 2. Okay, let's see. I think that's it for this intro. Stay with it. Create a work study. Create kind of a pattern. Figure out when you can study and then study. This is not a hard course. It's a very straightforward course. I think students that take it seriously, again, pretty confident that you're going to enjoy it and that you're going to learn a lot more about Texas walking out of here than you did walking in. And you'll realize how truly fascinating the state is, how truly important it is. And you'll love it even maybe more than you did walking in. But you'll also perhaps be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? You'll look at it maybe less naively, but that doesn't mean you don't love it all the more. Okay, anybody have any questions? Email me. Again, it's patrick.kelly@utsa.edu. I don't answer Blackboard emails. And yeah, I look forward to teaching you and maybe meeting some of you over the course of the semester.